Private members' business. Notice number 3, motion relating to Road Safety Remuneration Tribunal.
Call the member for Perth.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. Mr Deputy Speaker, I move the motion relating to the Road Safety Remuneration Tribunal in the terms in which it appears on the notice paper. Mr Deputy Speaker, like many Australians who understand the trucking industry, I am astounded that the government is considering abandoning the Road Safety Remuneration Tribunal. The link between trucking accidents and the contract conditions of owner-drivers has been established beyond doubt, beyond reasonable doubt, in report after report. However, we do expect heavy haulage drivers to operate in a safe manner with proper fatigue management practices in place. But we know that unless owner drivers are paid reasonable rates and are given reasonable delivery schedules, the pressure will be on to cut corners to meet the high-cost environments in which they operate. Many owner drivers, many of whom I know, the stakes are very high. They mortgage their houses to buy their rigs. They cannot afford to turn down unsafe jobs. I've watched the pressure under which these truckies have operated over the last 3 decades. Indeed, I was in my 20s when I first learnt of the alternative meaning of the mixed grill, the cocktail of pills that is used to keep going on those punishing schedules like the Perth-Darwin run. When I became the Transport Minister in WA, it was appalling to see that the same pressure to drive too long, to overload, was still being applied to drivers. And it was appalling to see the resistance to the chain of responsibility legislation that would have made those cost-cutting principles take some responsibility. It is all very well for Coles and Woolworths and the like to engage in cost-cutting wars, but in the end someone pays. And here it is the truck drivers and their families, and tragically very often other road users. People like Suzanne De Beer, a very wonderful, very compassionate WA woman whose husband was killed by a fatigued truck driver. She attended the trial of that truck driver and she had this to say. That day in court, hearing all the details of the case and how long that guy had been on the road, my thought was he should not be the only one on trial. You know, there's a whole industry that should have been on trial that day, and indeed they should. We have made some progress, and I was very pleased in WA that we were able to put in place the very first protective legislation in Australia in the Owner Drivers Contracts and Disputes Act in 2007. And federally, Labor government took this up, and with the establishment of the Road Safety Remuneration Tribunal in 2012. Establishing a mandatory minimum rate of pay and related conditions for employed and self-employed truck drivers, removing that pressure to contribute to unsafe work practices. And it has worked. It has worked. The Bureau of Infrastructure, Transport and Regional Economics has shown a 30% fall in the number of fatal truck crashes involving articulated trucks over the last year. Mr Deputy Speaker, we demand that the irresponsible history of denial by the Minister for Transport, that there is a compelling link between the terms of contracts of truck drivers and the time and cost schedules under which they are put, and the safety of truck drivers, and is addressed. We can no longer deny this link. We need to act now. We need to ensure that legislation, which has so comprehensively been demonstrated to produce sound results, is supported and not repealed. We do need, Mr Deputy Speaker, on this matter, we must take a practical, pragmatic approach, put ideology on hold and make sure that we give our truck drivers a safe working environment, and that we ensure that all of our road users are not being undermined by cost-cutting, reprehensible behaviour on the part of the trucking industry. Thank you.